Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I have a really fun vintage inspired planter that we're going to be DIYing. This is the perfect centerpiece to put on a big empty table. And a huge thank you to Osea for sponsoring today's video. I'll be sharing more about my new skincare routine later in the video. It's going to be a great video, so make sure you stick around. Okay, so to start this DIY, I had this old galvanized planter that I really loved the size of it, but I'm not crazy about that galvanized look. And I really love the look of these kind of European limestone stone type planters. However, they can cost a pretty penny. So this one is actually for a tree. It's about $5 grand. So this is kind of the style that I'm going for. I just want this old kind of vintage looking limestone look for a fraction of the price. I love really looking at the details for projects like this. So I see a lot of grays, maybe even a little bit of light stone, maybe white. So I'm gonna grab some mortar from Home Depot. This is about 10 bucks and it comes in gray and white. It also comes in a 50-pound bag for about 10 to 12 bucks, which isn't bad, and it goes a long way. So you can grab one or the other, or even both, and try to mix colors to get a little bit of a lighter type stone if that is the look you're going for. I actually had both in my garage, so this DIY hardly cost me anything, which I love. So I'm actually just mixing up the gray and the white together, and I'm going a little at a time. Mortar actually does take a while to dry. It's not like a quick setting cement. So if you have been following the news at all, you would know that California is pretty much underwater. So I'm going to do this DIY inside. I just put some trash bags down on my big table, and yeah, it should catch all of the excess stuff that falls off, and we'll try to contain the mess into this trash bag area. I also am just using a scraper to put this on. You can also use your hands. It does dry your hands out a lot, so I would wear rubber gloves if doing that. But I'm just gonna add some water and get it to a little bit thicker type consistency. I would say maybe a thick milkshake type consistency. Just depending on how you want to work with it. It's really easy to do. It's almost exactly like cement. It takes about the same time as normal cement to dry. And so if you don't know anything about mortar, it is an adhesive for tile. So it's pretty much like cement, although it does adhere a little bit more. So it sticks really well to metal and those types of materials, so I'm really confident that it will do pretty well on this galvanized planter. And this is the first layer going on. Like I said, I'm just using my scraper, so I'm doing the sides. And I think I forgot to tell you guys, I got this planter from Hobby Lobby several years ago. I will look online and see if they still have it available, but it's pretty self-explanatory and pretty easy. The first coat I'm just doing really thin so that it dries really fast. I do have a little ceramic heater that I can put on it that also helps it dry. Like I said, with all the rain California has had, DIY projects are pretty much non-existent for outside right now, but this is after the first coat. For the next coat, I'll add a little bit more gray, but first I'm gonna share my favorite skincare brand with you. Hey guys, so I wanted to share with you one of my newest New Year's resolutions, and that was to get better with a morning and night anti-aging routine or a skincare routine. So I found the skincare brand Osea. Osea is clean, vegan, cruelty-free, seaweed-based skin and body care. Not only is it good for your skin, but it's also good for the environment. It's female founded and family operated since 1996. The thing that I love the most about Osea is that they fit seamlessly into my nighttime skincare routine. I can even apply them in the morning as well, and they're not just moisturizing, but they're also anti-aging. So the moisturizer and anti-aging cream firm and reduce the look of fine lines and wrinkles, and they're clinically proven to increase hydration by 121%. I don't know about you, but in the winter months, my skin really tends to get a lot more dry, so this is perfect. So the key ingredient is the Undaria seaweed, which replenishes and supports the skin's moisture barrier to visibly smooth skin. Trust me, give this product a try and you won't be disappointed. It's made such a difference in my skin, and I know it will for you too. So this is applying the second coat, and in total I did about 3 to 4 coats and let them kind of dry in between. It was taking a while to dry, so I just started kind of packing it on, which it did take, I would say, about 2 or 3 days in total to dry completely. I actually kind of wanted to eliminate that rounded look and make it very offset, if that makes sense. A lot of these limestone type like troughs and planters, they just have this irregular look. So I wanted to eliminate that round look as much as possible. So this is actually the planter upside down, and I put the mortar over the bottom and just flipped it around and made it really kind of lumpy and bumpy and as irregular as I could. I could have done a few more coats. It would have taken me a few more days, which I also can always add if I want to, but I kind of wanted to square off the bottom, but I just didn't get around to it. But I'm going to let this dry. This is probably after about 4 coats. And then I'm going to use some 80 grit sandpaper, which is a removal type sandpaper. It's very coarse, so this will really take down all of those little sharp edges and little peaks and round everything out. You can see how quick that 80 grit takes it down. And another step that I didn't try, but I have everything to do it, is wire brushes. If you have those wire brush attachments that you put on a drill, that will also add a lot of detail and kind of texture in there. I have not tried that on stone, but I really want to give it a try. I didn't get around to it this time. So I noticed with the sanding, the look that I really liked was when it was really uneven. So when you're applying the mortar, I think it looks the best to have things kind of really higher and lower in some spots and very irregular. I know it looks weird when you're applying the mortar. You can see in this shot on the left it's unsanded and on the right it's sanded. So it's almost half and half there, how much of a difference the sanding makes. And then to give this planter some of that vintage aged look, I'm gonna rub some dirt in there. You can use mud, you can use the wire brushes. You could even blend up some moss or some dried moss and apply it with a clear spray paint. Whatever you wanna do to give it that really aged look. I feel like it just adds so much more character and depth, and it's truly up to you how you want it to look, which I love. And to seal in that dirt, it does darken it a little bit, so just a heads up, which I am totally fine with. I'm going to use some clear matte spray and spray this outside just to lock in that dirt that I had put on there, and it really does lock it in and works really well. I'm also going to apply some little felt feet to the bottom just so that I don't scratch my table up. My kids are notorious for moving my centerpieces out of the way, so I always have to make sure I put these little feet on any type of centerpiece so my tables don't get scratched. So I originally wanted to use a moss in this planter and give it kind of more of a modern feel, but I really had trouble finding moss. They had some ground covers, but it just wasn't exactly what I was looking for, so I ended up going with this sedum cover. It's actually a blend of like moss type and a little kind of baby succulents, and it's supposed to spread quickly like ground cover. And so I thought this would look really cute and full and even have a little bit hanging over and still get that kind of modern moss look that I wanted. You can see really clearly how cool that planter looks. It looks very stone-like. That mortar always impresses me, and what I love is that if I want to add more and give it more of a squared look on the bottom, I can always go back and do that and add more irregularity if I want to do that. So this ground cover is sold in a flat. I believe it was about $14 per flat, and there is a lot. I only had to use 2 for this little DIY. So all in all, this DIY probably cost me a total of $30 since I had pretty much everything on hand for the planter part, but I'm just really pushing all of those succulents in there together, and I love the look when it's really full, and it's even going to have room to grow because there was a little bit of extra room in there as well. You can't really tell, but there's room for them to grow, and yeah, I'm excited. I think they will probably just use a little bit of water here and there, maybe some mist every now and then. And yeah, hopefully they will do well on our dining room table. You can see how beautiful that planter looks. It truly looks like a one-of-a-kind piece. So let me know if you guys try this DIY. If you do, you can always tag me on Instagram. I love sharing your guys' projects and your DIYs. Let me know in the comments what you guys enjoy seeing on my channel. I would love to get some fresh new ideas for the new year. Make sure that you are subscribed so that you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. And with that, we will catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching.